So, Ms. Stripmatter here. Welcome to our review of expository writing. We want to go ahead and do this just because it's been a minute since you guys have actually had a chance to do any expository writing, and want to do a few reminders before we throw the writing CBA at you next week. Also, we're going to have some expository writing come up this 6 weeks, so we wanted to make sure that we're going over some of the basics. You guys have technically learned all of this stuff before, but it's been a while, so we want to do some reminders. So our agenda in this video is to go over some expository writing reminders and also look at an example of an expository essay written by a student, and then looking at that essay for what we like and maybe what we don't like. So the very first thing are your reminders. So the first thing you need to know is there's different purposes for papers, right? You might be writing a story like you did with your memoir, or you might be writing to argue a point or to try to persuade somebody, or you might be writing just to inform somebody, just to give them information. Well, that's what expository is. So the purpose of an expository essay is to inform or to explain about an idea. So expository means explain. So the big question is, are you going to have lots of personal opinion in there? Probably not, right? You want to state things as facts as much as you can. Again, expository means explain. Okay, next. For expository, we mostly want just the facts, not what you think, you feel, you thought. Try to stick to just the facts. You guys can actually use personal experiences that you've had to help back up your ideas, to help give you evidence to support what you're saying. But make sure that you're including your thoughts about the issue as well. So you're not telling a story this time. Now you're informing an audience. You're explaining something. So again, expository purpose is to inform or explain. So usually you're going to start with a prompt. You're going to respond with a 4 to 6 paragraph essay using evidence and ideas to back up what you're saying. So when I say evidence, things to back up what you're saying, I'm saying you can use real life examples. They can be from your own life or from something else in real life that you feel like matches that point you're trying to make. They can be, evidence can be cause and effect. They can be compare and contrast. Your evidence could be a hypothetical situation or example. Remember, a hypothetical situation is something that could happen or might happen. So it's easy to kind of talk about the theory of this. I want to show you guys that example, so this is all isn't just out there. One last reminder, expository essays have a very consistent structure. You're going to have an intro, and that intro has something called a thesis, which we're going to review in the next video. It's going to have body paragraphs, and the purpose of those body paragraphs is for you to state your points and to give some evidence and back up what you're saying. And then finally, your last paragraph is going to be your conclusion. So before we go on any farther looking at the rubric or anything, let's go ahead and look at some expository stuff and then look at the expository essay example. So the first two things I want to show you are examples of expository essay prompts. You guys are going to see one very much like this on any writing CBAs that we have, or anytime we write expository essays in class. Expository writing is one of the most common types of writing. This is the kind you would see in the news or an opinion piece. It's the kind of writing you read in a blog post or in a magazine. Those are all expository, where the purpose is to explain something. So you guys will have something usually to read, like a quote. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. Then you're going to have something to think about. A machine is only as strong as the sum of its parts. And then they're actually going to give you that writing prompt. So it says, write an expository essay explaining, hint, hint, wink, wink, the importance of working together. So that is what you would basically be writing your essay about. You're welcome to use this quote if you want to. You're welcome to use this statement if you want to in your essay. But this is what your essay is about. You need to write a one-page paper explaining the importance of working together. There are some really important reminders down here. They say to be sure to really clearly state your controlling idea. They say to make sure that your essay is organized, that it's not just random thoughts falling out of your mouth as they come out of your brain. Make sure it's organized and it flows. Choose your words carefully. Vocabulary does count when it comes to expository essays. And be careful to use the correct spelling, capitalization, punctuation, grammar, and sentences as you can and where you can. Here's one more example of an expository essay prompt. So again, this will always be a prompt, and you're responding to it in the 4 to 6 paragraph essay. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Think. Anyone has the ability to lead, but what makes a person truly worth following? Ooh. So the prompt is for you to write an expository essay explaining what makes somebody a great leader. So you need to develop a one-page essay with an introduction, 3 body paragraphs that have your evidence, and a conclusion that state what makes somebody a great leader. Well, y'all, I'm going to have a hard time if all I'm doing is write, it's important to have a great leader because a great leader is somebody who's kind, somebody who's generous. I'm just talking out of my head. I've got to back that up with points. So if I say a great leader is somebody who's kind, for example, one of my favorite teachers, Mrs. Chihawk, in 3rd grade, was one of the most influential teachers in my life. Although she was not the strictest teacher, her kindness made us want to follow what she was saying and really listen to her. Boom, body paragraph, mic drop. So make sure you guys are giving evidence and things to back up what you're saying. Don't just list out all the things a great leader needs. Explain why. So you should always be asking yourself as you're writing an expository essay, why? That's going to help you come up with that evidence. A lot of people look at this for the expository setup. It's really basic. It's really simple. It works. It's supposed to show you guys the structure. So each one of these rows is its own paragraph. So this would be the introductory paragraph, body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3, and the closing. So this is that hamburger structure that you guys learned once upon a time when you were first doing essays. It's a little bit more specific though. So the idea is that you have your introduction, and in your introduction goes a thesis statement. Your thesis statement is crucial. It is critical. It is basically saying what you are going to be explaining and where you stand on the issue. So you're going to state your sentence, your thesis sentence using the words from the prompt. And then you can say like, because blank, blank, and blank. You don't always have to list out a thesis. That's just one of the first ways we learn how to do it. So what would be an example? A good example would be, so it's write an expository essay explaining what makes somebody a great leader. Somebody is a great leader who is kind, patient, and leads by guiding, not by shoving, period. That's my thesis. Well, friends, that's also going to tell me what these 3 reasons are. So by being kind, having patience, and by guiding people, not by shoving people. Those are my 3 reasons. So each of those body paragraphs would be one of those reasons. And then I would need to provide an example or evidence or my thoughts backing that up. So remember when I talked about my 3rd grade teacher being kind? Well, that would be that example that goes directly in that paragraph right there. I might also give some of my, the way I feel about kindness, about how true leaders aren't in it for themselves. They're in it for the people they stand for, which in and of itself is an act of kindness. So that might be my 2nd example. So again, examples can be real life experiences, compare and contrast. They can be your thoughts about something. So think about those reasons because you're going to need to back those reasons up. You don't just list them out. You got to back them up. Finally, you got your closing paragraph where you're basically going to re-say some of the things you said in your essay and leave us with a closing thought. It's even better if that closing thought gives us like new insight to what you're telling us or kind of like a new perspective, a deeper perspective on the point you're trying to make. Okay, so we're going to look at one example essay real quick. And this one got a score of 2 out of 4. So if you remember the 4-point rubric, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you'll know that 2 is not a great essay, but I do want to look at it briefly just to show you guys an example of an expository essay. So here we go. And this is about who would you like to meet and why. So the prompt is, what person would you most like to meet and why? I would like to meet Martha Graham. She was a dancer, choreographer, teacher, and one of the founders of modern dance. I want to be a professional dancer someday. I could learn from her. So there's her thesis statement. She wants to meet Martha Graham, but it's kind of broken up, right? She wants to meet Martha Graham because she wants to be a professional dancer and she could learn from her. Okay. There's a thesis there, but it's not real clear. So she has 2 body paragraphs. She said, I would talk about the challenges she faced about becoming a dancer. She overcame obstacles. Her father did not want her to become a dancer, so she was not able to take dance lessons until she was a teenager. My dad doesn't want me to take dance lessons until I am 16, even though my sister got to take tap when she was 13. But that's not a good reason to wait. I'll never reach my dreams unless I get support. It's not fair to change the rules just because I'm the youngest. I would ask Martha Graham about how she faced her challenges. So body paragraph 2. Many books in our library have photos and essays about Martha Graham. Some of her dances were based on the stories we studied when we did a unit on mythology. It would be fun to get a dance lesson from Martha Graham. If I got a lesson from her, I would listen carefully. Martha Graham could coach me and tell me what to do to join a famous dance company. I like classical ballet, but I like modern dance much better. My dream is to be the next Martha Graham of modern dance. So this is an example of an expository essay talking about who she would like to meet and why. You'll notice that it probably got a 2 because she gets a little bit off topic. She starts talking about how her dad didn't want her to take lessons. It wasn't fair because her sister got to take lessons. Down here, she starts talking about what kind of dance she specifically likes in her dream. She forgot to circle back around to, why Martha Graham is so amazing and why she'd want to meet her. So this is a good expository essay, but it's not the best. So watch the next video over the 12-point rubric to see a better version of this exact same essay by a student. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Expository means to explain. Good luck, happy writing. You need a thesis in your introduction. Okay, bye.